Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? It's nice, nice. I appreciate you all coming out to be here on Juneteenth to gather some information from the different panelists, and then be here in support of Antone right here, and really gain some information. All right, so Antonio Turner, innovator, philanthropist, and a coach. Um, appreciate your pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you here, be here, and for you to have us here. Thank you, first off. He's the founder of Adrulix, dedicated to creating an ecosystem that empowers individuals to achieve freedom through love and stability. A spiritual leader and change advocate, he focuses on building a sustainable platform that fosters transformation, encourages love, and promotes freedom with a rich background that spans elementary education and entrepreneurship across various industries, including security, cosmetology, construction, and insurance. Antone possesses a unique ability to drive this movement forward and enhance the quality of life for others. With 18 years of experience in education, 28 years as a philanthropist, and 20 years in entrepreneurship. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. He is a He is passionately guiding the ecosystem towards making a global impact across the 7 sectors of society. He has recently relocated to the greater Atlanta area from Houston, Texas. He actively volunteers as a leader at Change Church and with the Georgia Department of Corrections. Additionally, he is training to become an instructor for a drug prevention program aimed at school age children. Everybody, let's give it up for Anton. Absolutely.
Thank you, my brother. Truly, it's a blessing to have each and every one of you here. I'm so excited because change people, change the world. And if we can initiate enough people and to start that transformation and wake up, we can do something great. And we're going to be talking about the incubator a little bit later. I am the business incubator. Um, but right now, I want to talk about Adrulix and the vision that God has given me for Adrulix. And then we're going to have our panelists join in. And so feel free to ask questions. If you have anything that's on your heart that you want to know, you can note that down, and we'll go ahead and discuss that. We want it to be engaged audience, right? So we'll make sure you have a mic so you can be recorded as well um, if you have any questions. So, Drulix, I was asked a question, and I've been saved for over 30 years now, and God has really been impressing a lot on me and taking me through a journey that I didn't know that I was going through. But He has a way of um, placing something in your heart at a young age and then developing it, right? And so that's what's been going on in my life. And Drulix is a ecosystem where we're creating a society within society that you can trust with good services and information, because we, as a culture, as a society, we don't have emotional intelligence, right? And if we don't have, if we don't know how to deal with our mess, we kind of start spreading all over the place, right? And doing things that are contrary to our best interests. And so, what a Drulix is a platform where we're going to be educating people so that they can have a higher quality of life. So going from um, just existing to living to thriving. All right. And so it's a process from freedom to love, because you got to be free to love. Right. If you're bound up and you got a lot of stuff going on, you're not going to properly love yourself or anybody else. So a Drulix is a learn earn to learn, excuse me, learn to earn platform where we're going to be having videos, documents where you can read. Once you read the documents, once you watch the video, you'll have a quiz. And once you take the quiz, you'll earn crypto for that. You can change the crypto into dollars and you can go get you something to eat. You can pay a bill, right? And so we're going to push that forward and constantly building people up with our platform. Um, like he said, we're focusing on the seven sectors of society. Our pastor calls it the seven streets. We're looking at media. With media, we're going to have our own news reporters, our own news station. We're going to have our own um, social media platform. We're going to have where we pretty much control the narrative. We give the information that we want to give, what we want to promote. We're going to take a preventive approach to news and show people that, hey, if you want to prevent stuff like this happening from happening, these are some steps you need to take, right? Because all it's a lot of propaganda that we are getting right now from news is what they want us to do, what they want us to focus on, and things of that nature. And so we want to shift that narrative and be able to control that. And so our media is going to be very important part of uh, our economy, our ecosystem. And then we have government. Our government is going to primarily go out and make sure that the welfare of the people is well, right? The people of Adrulix are well taken care of, and so and they're going to also go out and find other communities, other businesses, other countries that have a like-minded that we can collaborate with because we are stronger together. And how we got to the place where we are today is because we've been separated. And so if we could come together, like minds come together and fortify and galvanize and do some collaborations, we can really change the game, right? And so that's what a Druid is all about. Then we have our family sector. Our family sector is really um, based on taking each individual and having defined roles, which can look different from family to family, but understanding roles and responsibilities and not sweeping things under the rug, dealing with mental health, right? Issues when if someone's in prison, how we can effectively minister to them and make sure that their needs are taken care of in prison and things of that nature. If there's any drug or mental health issues that's going on into the family. Let's deal with those things, right? Instead of just masking it and like everything is all right. Okay. We're going to also deal with emotional intelligence a lot on our ecosystem. All right. The next thing that the next sector that we want to talk about is economic. Economics is very essential, right? If we can use group economics and come together, um, we can really change the trajectory of uh, people that are impoverished, right? The African Americans or people of African descent, especially, we can change the trajectory. African Americans spend about $3 trillion a year in this economy, and we're one of the only groups that, when money hits our hands, it goes out in less than 10 seconds out of our community where it stays in the Asian community about a month or two, and so they spend money with each other. We spend money with everybody else but each other. And so if we could take a third of the $3 trillion, that's putting $1 trillion in our ecosystem. and say, hey, let's work together. What change can we make with that? It's a power move. It's a power move. And so that's what we're going to be doing. That's what the incubator is all about, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We're going to really empower our people to come together, and we're not excluding anybody. Okay, but there's a way that we want to conduct business in the Drulix. So we're excited about that. The next sector is our arts and entertainment, where we call our celebration sector, celebration station. Um, so with arts and entertainment, we're going to really promote how our what we publicize, like what we want to present as our true values, right? Um, and we want to be able, like if we have kids growing up, we want to be able to manage them well, right? Instead of trying to take advantage of them when they're in sports, when they're in arts and entertainment, if they're singing and this, that, and the other. We want to train them the right way. I think about what Brother Williams did with Serena and Venus, and how he trained them up, right, and was able to um, manage their lives, right, and manage their careers, and so things like that, where we are managing them from a sense of love, right, and care, and to your best interest, and while at the same time helping the community grow. Um, then we have religion. We allow things to separate us. And they've used that as a ploy to keep us separated. And if we can know that love is the very most important, God is love, right? He's not a kind of love, He's not a type of love, He is love. And if love is the motivation behind what we do, then everything else will fall in line, right? And so we're definitely going to open up to everybody and invite everybody in, but the motivation is going to be love. Okay, so and we're not going to just separate people just because of what they believe, but we're going to lead with love. All right, and so uh, I think I covered all the sectors off the top of my head. Um, but we're excited because we know that change people change the world, and if we can usher in that change, if I change as an individual, and if I talk to my brother Zach and he's changed as well, then we can influence our world, right? It may be just our family, right? That if that's the world you influence, that's the world you need to be concerned with, right? And it may be city, it may be your county, it may be your state. So it expands on from that point on, and so we are excited about that. So that's what a Drulix is all about. It's about creating the change, being the change agent, making things happen. I just got tired of being a part of the problem, because if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I want to be a part of the solution. And so God has placed this on my heart to move it forward, and we're going to take it a sector at a time. We're just going to believe God is going to bring the right people and at the right time, and we all do some great things together, and move forward as a human race, first of all, right, and then in particular African Americans and those of African descent. All right, that's all I have for right now on a Drulix.
Okay, great, great. So we can move into the panel discussion.
Yes.
Okay, great, great, great. Let me move my chair a little bit. All right, so for this panel discussion, I'm going to be asking you a few questions just to understand y'all's mindset and y'all's ideas on a few things. So for Zach, I know you're, well, yeah, absolutely. Zach, please Introduce yourself, and then we can go on down this line.
Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? All right, beautiful. Well, man, before I introduce myself, first and foremost, can we get a round of applause for Ant for putting this on? Like, and 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 bro, you went in so hard right out the gate. They were like, wait, but bro, everything you hit on, absolutely right, man. I don't think a soul in this place can't agree with everything that came out your mouth, man. Beautifully put, and thank you for the service that you're putting in, just in putting it all together, and also making sure that you're mobilizing by taking action. So, man, appreciate you, brother. Seriously, seriously. Um, so my name is Zach Talley. I'm not big on doing the rundown of my accolades and all the other things, but I've been a corporate finance lawyer for a little over 15 years. Been in finance for almost 20 years. My wife and I have we just much like Ant said, we got to a point where we just kind of got sick and tired of seeing, dealing, being amongst the same old normalized, heavily traumatic normalization that we've allowed to be our society. And so we went all overseas for a little while, um, got healed unexpectedly. Um, and I can get into some of my background later, but didn't even realize that a lot of things that needed to be exposed and brought to light had to be ushered out through separation. And I think we, as Americans, as people, as individuals that live in this world, I think we far too often are just so busy trying to keep up that it makes us easily distracted. And when you're able to distract somebody, you're able to throw them completely off balance, which is how you also create division. If I know you're influenced by money, let me scoot you over there. I know you're influenced by fame, let me scoot you over there. Okay, well, y'all not moving on the other stuff, but family and religion and that. All right, y'all keep that over there with all the low paying jobs and black mindset and all the other stuff that I'm gonna push on you to try and keep you. It's all systemic. Um, so I think it's absolutely beautiful. Like Ant, I'm a person of action. Um, I actually left my law firm back in 2015 to start some activists and advocacy work. Got a couple of Confederate statues removed. Uh, started the first Black independent funding brokerage in Tennessee for families to be able to bypass banks and get home funding. Um, but now we're on a new mission. Much like Ant, we I'm actually I made so back last year I was actually about to sell my finance company, uh, and God put it on my spirit to hold on a little while longer. I ended up holding out, and what I didn't know is right around the corner there was going to be an opportunity to acquire another company and then become partner of a much larger organization that would give us a lot more bandwidth. Hence, why we're back in the country and pushing ministry now because God positioned us to be able to do so. When I thought it was supposed to be an exit sign, He was saying, "No, just hold on. We're going to set you up for some other things." But we started the so I'm partner of a family office. A lot of people don't know what that is because the one that I work for prior to last year, you had to have a $50 million net worth to even get a meet. Now it's 20 million. Woohoo! Most of us are trying to figure out how to get our first one. Um, but that gave me the opportunity, the insight, and the resources to come back stateside, hit our communities, and bring financial literacy tools and resources that we're lacking so badly. And we can do it from an industrial uh, aspect as well as from a community aspect. So that's a large part of what we're doing. We engage off of four pillars: family, faith, freedom, and finance. We think that the all four of them have to kind of work synonymously because it's easy to get thrown off track when you're compromised because income is an issue or your family's imbalanced or your anxiety's so high because you're not well because you're overworking trying to meet basic needs. So uh, much like Ant, we're bringing resources, tools, but a large part of it comes from just needing to start from the basic foundation of education. Um, making enough to pay the bills and get by is not, that doesn't work. The same old way of, okay, do enough just to get enough to get by doesn't work. Doing Accepting just enough is not enough.
Right.
And I think as a community, if we can understand our true history and what we're really from, where we really come from, what we're really capable of, and not just who we are, but also whose we actually are, I think we can turn things around pretty quickly. As Ed said, we've got a whole lot of economic power, and on top of that, we are the ones who created the village. We just got to find it again. I'm gonna shut up now.
That was a great, by the way. Fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Thank you, Zach.
How you guys doing? My name is London Brown. I'm a business finance major from Morehouse. Native to Atlanta, born and raised here. I'm just really here to just get my intake. I'm still a student, but I'm on the come up. I'm literally doing what he's doing, trying to get into finance. So yeah, I'm just here to get my intake.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and get started. So first question, given that everybody has an idea, everybody has a dream, they're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that over there, but like they don't have they have the vision, but they never take the action to go ahead and start something. What made I'll say for right now for the entrepreneurs, what made you guys start your businesses and like yeah, like what propelled you?
All right. Um, Really, just having the desire that it was more. Like I was in education, and I knew my reach was more, right? And God was speaking influence in my life, and it's sort of like the story of Moses, and I never liken myself to Moses, but um, Moses had a heart for his people, even though he was brought up in the palace, right? He was brought up in the palace, but he had a heart for his people. And as soon as he was old enough, he says, "Hey, why you?" He saw that the Egyptian bothering the Hebrew, and he broke it up and ended up accidentally killing the Egyptian. The next day, he came and he saw the two Hebrews fighting each other, and he separated them. And he said, "Y'all brothers, y'all shouldn't be fighting." And I'm paraphrasing. And they said, "What, you gonna kill us too?" And he ran. Right, he fled from Egypt to be trained. So he had a passion for the people before he even had the training. And so sometimes God will give us the passion and then send us on a training mission. And that may look different for everybody, right? But he was trained in the wilderness, he was trained with the sheep. So then when God heard the cry of the people, he said, "Now, Moses, it's time." And I feel that now it's time to bring it out. And so all the entrepreneur journey and wanting more and all that was God saying, "Hey, I need you to do some things for me. I don't know what it is." And in '98, he put dropped a ministry in my spirit, and it was called Agape In Ministries, and it was allow God access to people's every need. And he says, I'm going to give you the resources and to give to the people and supply their needs. And when they look to you, you say, "He's the one that did it." And so that's how I got started.
I love it. Love it.
That's beautiful. Uh, my situation was a bit different. I'm from Augusta, Georgia. For those of you who do not know, yes, home of James Brown, but that's about all we really had to be proud of. Because the Masters, we're not claiming that if you're from the right side of town. That's not Augusta. Um, but for me, so for me, I learned that I was adopted early on. My adopted father was never in the picture. My mom and he got divorced early on. by the time I turned right after my 11th or 12th birthday, he actually died a couple days after Christmas. Screwed me all up. I was messed up for years after that because, as Aunt said, in most households, you don't talk to the kid, you don't talk the kids through what's going on, so they're left kind of at their own recognizance to figure things out. Uh, Long story short, I started kind of going into the streets. I was good at one thing. Even back in school, math class, I look at the board. I can tell you the answer. I can't tell you how I got it. I can't write it out, but I just get it. It was what it was. I ended up on the wrong side of the tracks. I was actually a finance guy for uh, one of the modern day largest drug cartels, and also the second largest ATF gun bust in history, Augusta Inc. So my name got thrown into those when I was in college, and I ended up having to go to prison for 2 years, fight my way out. I was originally sentenced 78 months, got out in 19 through fighting. That's how I got into law. I already had a finance background, even though it wasn't legal. And so when I got to prison, I just kind of was. I went to federal prison, got out, and at that point when I came home, I just knew everything had to change, and there was nothing that was going to be able to stop me. To Ant's point, um, I did realize that God was grooming something in me, for me, and with me all at one time. In 2023, I ended up having a stroke right after my wife and I had moved to Puerto Rico, stress induced, working too hard, doing too much. I was 120 pounds heavier than I am right now. I got pictures to prove it. She looking like, nah, I don't see it. It was real. In that December, we came back stateside so that I could go to a neuro clinic. And the day that I was finally able to find out what was going on in my head, I got home to her mother's house, and I got a phone call that a guy that was like a little brother to me committed suicide that morning. He got my attention finally. And when I went upstairs, I prayed over it, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm doing everything right. I'm coming back stateside for ministry. I'm doing all the things. What do you want? What are you trying to show me? And he told me. He said, this whole time you thought I was punishing. I was preparing you, but I need you to use your voice. And I need you to stand in it and take action. So after that, I shifted the entire narrative of how I was approaching things, what I was doing, what I saw, how I saw people. I realized I was working through trauma, and my trauma response was the one thing that I could control, which was work. So all the accolades and all that stuff happened. I don't really remember getting them. Don't care about them. Now I finally get a chance to see what my purpose is and my alignment is with God's purpose for my life, and it makes it easy. It makes it easy to get up every day and know, okay, well, I'm building for the glory. I'm building to maximize and magnify God. I'm building a kingdom to bring people to Him through all different outlets. And guess what? Most traditional churches can't go to places I can and reach people like I can. Everybody's being ruined right now, every single day.
Thank you for that.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. And I want to ask a question based off of some of the things that you've said, because everybody's here has been knocked down at least once in their life and maybe thought that it was over. They're not getting back up. Um, Life is done for. I was actually having a conversation before this about this actually. So for all three of you guys, you've already told us a time, but what was it? What mindset? Was it a book? Was it somebody that you spoke to, or just a different mindset shift that allowed you to understand like this is not over? I still have some gas in the tank to go ahead and change my life for the better.
You asked me directly.
Yeah. And then bring it
Uh,
down the line.
okay, perfect. Um, hmm, Good question, man. Uh, so I don't have one that I can go to because of what I realize is the signs and the hey, I'm trying to get your attention. All that stuff had been there the whole time. He had to get me off balance to catch my attention, and that kind of was it. But I look at defeat as an option that's not a reality if you don't make it one. When I went to prison, one of the main things that made me tighten up and make sure that I didn't leave the same way I came in was hearing guys say, "Man, I don't care. I'm going in and getting me a new plug." Or, "Man, as soon as I go back out, I'm picking up that pack." For what? I went to college and saw a beautiful campus with a bunch of mixed people. And then months later, I was in a prison with more types of black faces than I'd ever seen. Smarter than me, bigger than me, stronger than me. I was in there with T.I. for over a year. And he's way, way more wealthy, well known, and well off than I was. It showed me that if I'm still alive, there's still an opportunity. And if I'm here for a reason. It's up to me, though, to figure out what that reason is and make sure I'm moving the needle forward. Because one thing I learned when I was young is everything's predestined, but you still have free will, right? The pre-written part is you're here for a purpose. All of us are designed perfectly wonderfully made. The part where the free will comes in is what we decide to do with that information and how hard we go after trying to figure out why. So that's why I'm living. Until he puts me down, I'm not supposed to be gone. I've had opportunities. He didn't let me go in, and I tried plenty of times, and he wasn't letting it happen. So at that point, I kind of gave up on giving up on me.
Um, One thing for me, for sure, is talking to someone. I talked to someone. The person I talked to was actually my teacher from Morehouse. I'm an upcoming sophomore, so I just finished my freshman year, and I remember I was halfway through second semester, which is this year, and he was telling me, saying, "You're doing too much. You got to find balance." I didn't have any balance in terms of I wasn't out every day, but I just wasn't doing everything I could have done to my 100% potential. And so one thing he told me is you have to balance. You can still do what you want, but you still have to be able to do your work. You still have to be able to do the things that you need to do. And so that was one thing for me was just talking to someone and finding someone to talk to. He's my mentor now, and I've only known him for a few months. He's just guiding me through life. And so I think that's important, just talking to someone.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Um, I'm in agreement with these two brothers. One of the things that kind of got me into this season that I'm in right now is God spoke to me and He said, "I'm going to teach you how to process deeper." And I had been doing over 20 years of prison ministry, mostly on a weekly basis, and so I was used to giving the word. But he said he was going to teach me how to process deeper. I had a production company at the time, and so I made a video and I posted it on Facebook. It's still there, and in 2020, saying that when God told me this, and when He teaches me, I'm going to teach you. And so that's what the video primarily said. Um, and what he was talking about, he wanted me to read books. And so about 9 months later, I joined a club and I started reading books. And as I started reading these books, my comprehension increased, my capacity increased, and I started processing deeper, right? And he started showing me who I am, right? First of all, and what issues that I have in the last year, and that was about 4 years ago. And so the last year and a half has been about emotional intelligence. And so my EQ has been growing and increasing. And so just having that passion to now share it and mentor people and show them, hey, this is what we need to be doing, this is what we need to focus on if we're going to improve the quality of life that we have. So him speaking to me and then leading me on that journey and the sequence of books and the things that I was able to do in this 4 year period has been absolutely amazing. And so I'm on fire, and I know that we're going to change some people's lives by what we're doing.
Okay, wonderful answers. Honestly, like every answer that y'all give are giving me just I don't even need these questions because y'all just giving me things to ask. Mentorship, psychology, and how like books and learning and knowledge can significantly change your life, and then finance in general. Like I actually have a selfish question that I guarantee all of y'all will absolutely want to know this as well. In terms of the community, it's Juneteenth. In terms of our community, what do you think the major hindrance and what could we change that would radically change, or I guess get us to the next stage for us to grow? Because look, we have too much money, you know what I mean? Not for our community to be just either the top or getting there quickly or at right now. So I'll go. I'll start here, and then we can go down.
I think one thing, starting off to kind of get us to that next level is we need to like really fight against the government or what Trump is doing when it comes to DEI, things like that, just taking away a lot of like for me, there's a lot of scholarship money, there's a lot of federal funding that goes into colleges that he's taking away. So I know a lot of black students who aren't able to either go to college or have to go to a college that probably they can't get full federal funding for it. So they're only able to do 2 out of 4 years or something like that. I think there's definitely a push that we need to have towards the government in order to get an advantage again, in order to get kind of like back to the level that we were at. There's a lot of things missing. There's a lot of things being taken away. There's a lot of history being taken away. They're teaching us at Morehouse this history, but other schools, they're not teaching it. They're taking it away. They're altering it. They're making it where they're trying to act like it's okay. And that's one thing we just have to fight back against as a community. Like you said, we really have to come together and kind of push against that. And that way we can really break through more. Because if we can't get through that, we're not going to be able to get through anything else. We have to break the first steps. There's steps to everything.
Awesome, awesome. So Drulix is the answer. Um, it's part of the answer. I believe that it is the answer. I believe that if we come from a holistic approach and really deal with the mindset, because we can't throw money at our people and expect that it's going to change. We have to educate. Education is the key. And we got to show them this is how you do it. We have to make avenues for that process to happen, that education to happen. We cannot wait on anybody else. We cannot wait on the 40 acres and a mule, right? We cannot expect anybody else to galvanize us. We have to come together. Um, and when we do that, with like platforms like a Drulix, then we can really make a difference and it can happen really fast. But it starts with us just saying, hey, I'm laying aside our differences and let's come together, let's work together. And the reason I say a Drulix, of course, I'm partial, but it's comprehension. It's comprehensive, right? It's all included. It's covering the 7 sectors of society. It's like it's huge. And so you can do your finance thing. You're going to school for finance. Yeah. So and this is the collaboration that we need to do from one generation to the next. Mentorship, right? We're going to talk about and when we talk about I am the business and how we're looking to galvanize that and make that as a catalyst to take a Drulix to the next level. So we'll talk about that in a little while after our break.
For me, all right. So I have a few different ways I can answer this, but I think the biggest thing is we first have to understand the difference between freedom and liberation, right? Because you can be free in body and mentally still in captivity. And I think that's where we are right now. We have too much freedom and not enough structure. we have too much education and not enough action. We have too many people not to be mobilized and unified. Once again, we are the creator of the village, yet tools, systems, all kinds of things have been put in place to keep us divided because of how strong we are just naturally. And even with all these roadblocks, we've found workarounds, we've found ways to get over them. Mass incarceration still won't work. Red line and red mapping still won't work. We're too great. We're the only ones who don't realize that, though. I have a saying, and that is that the enemy can't have your soul unless he has your mind. Well, when you're constantly distracted, as we've spoken on, with no guidance, no leadership, and most people want better. That's why we'll happily work the 20 extra hours of overtime to get the extra money. The thing is, we don't know where to start. And everybody wants to be the leader instead of finding the collaborative ways to come together with their strengths. One of the things my wife and I realized is when we started to get around a different social network, it was no more, I got this, so I can't mess with you because you got that. Competitors on paper, but behind closed doors, yeah, we doing the same thing. So what's working for you? This ain't working for me. What did you do to get this to work? Okay, cool. A year from now, we're on panels together, talking, and the whole time you thought we were competitors. No, we best friends. We go golfing. It's our advertisement that's competing. Either way, we getting y'all money. That's the way that this works. What we would need to do is take on essentially the Jewish model, which is culturalize the systematization of what we need to do to be truly liberated, not just free in this country. And that comes through ownership. That means from not accumulating debt and a bunch of other depreciating bull crap that's not going to get you any further. That means go ahead and biting the bullet and figure and putting and healing so that you can put your pettiness aside, work together, and build the kingdom. Once again, we were the ones who put the pyramids together, but now we can't even find a way to get a stable house. All right, I'm shut. All right.
No. Well, everybody give it up for these guys. Phenomenal, phenomenal. All right, we're gonna be moving into a networking session. So y'all go ahead and mingle. All right.
Yeah, so we'll come back in probably about 15 minutes or so, and then we'll move forward. So we have some refreshments and everything for you guys, and so feel free. Rio, can you hear me? R- Rio, can you hear me? If you can hear me, say something so we can see if we hear you. I don't even see a microphone for you. Uh, but you're welcome to say anything and we can ask you some questions. But I need to see if I can hear you and everybody can hear you if you want to be on the panel. Hello, Adrian. Can you hear me? Can you say something so I can hear you?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm not hearing. I don't know if I should, but
Can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you right now.
Oh no.
We're gonna try to work out that.
Okay.
You got your volume up on your side?
It's all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on high.
I see it showing. Yeah.
You want me to say anything?
And then
Do you want me to
You
leave and
heard me
log back
correct.
in?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes or
you.
no? Shake
I
your
can hear
head
you.
for me. I can't hear you. Shake
You
your
still
head if
can
you can hear me. Can you hear me? Shake your head yes if you can hear me. Okay. Okay, can you talk now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you a little bit.
Oh, a
It's not
little
coming.
bit. I'm turned all the way up.
No, that's fine. You're
Okay.
fine. It's
Okay.
on our end.
Okay.
There we go. We got you.
All right, awesome.
Um,
all right.
okay. Miss Adrian, can you mute real quick and then we'll call you up. And Brother Rio, um, you have to have your volume is not connected, so we can't bring you up because we won't be able to hear you. So if you can work on that, then we'll try to get you connected. All right, you go. You wanna get us started? I'll let you.
Yeah. I'm gonna have him introduced. I'm gonna have you introduce and
Camera's on the laptop.
so I'm gonna introduce have him, you know, thanks for da 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 and I'm thanks. And I'm gonna have I'm gonna have the people come. Finish. Okay, okay. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a great time with the food in the back. I know I sure did. Help myself. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next section. We're gonna have Antoine here give us a little bit of a synopsis and a breakdown on the I Am the Business Incubator. Take it away.
Turned it off. Thank you, Hugo. We appreciate you, brother. I know she's somewhere, but Michelle Austin has been amazing, and she really put this together for us and assisted us every step of the way. And so, um, there she is. I
Oh
want
my
to
God.
give her a big round of applause. We really appreciate all her efforts in helping us put this together today and seeing the vision and wanting to be a part of what we're doing at Adrulix. And so we'll let's hear from her real quick, and then I'm going to talk about. Okay, that's fine. Yes, that's fine. Um, all right. Well, let me go ahead and talk about I Am the Business, and it's a 12-week business incubator. Okay, and our target market is 11th and 12th graders. We'll help anybody that's ready, but we're going after 11th and 12th graders. Does that make sense? And so when you're doing business, it's great to have a target market, and you can bring others in that may be ready to be in your business or do your business, right? But when you having a target, you're speaking to a certain group all the time, and it kind of guides your marketing and things of that nature. All right. And so if you didn't get one of these, make sure you get one of these or several of these if you want to pass them out. It's starting on July 5th. Okay. We're going to do it on Discord. And so we may have a physical location if the participants want that, right? And there's a demand for it. So the incubator, what we're doing, we're helping them conceive a business if they don't have a business. So from conception to bringing something to market, MVP to market in 12 weeks. So that means it's going to be a lot of work. You might not have your whole business model, right, in that end of that 12 weeks, but you'll have something that you can sell and market, good or service, by the end of the 12th week. That's the goal. All right. Also, we have a goal to give every person a mentor that participates in the Adrulix I Am the Business Incubator. So you'll also get a mentor. We are soliciting for mentors. We're soliciting for donators, right? Because we're going to be offering scholarships for those that don't have the funds to pay for it. We're also soliciting facilitators. Okay, so this is going to be our first one, and so we plan to do this in 10 different cities the next quarter. Okay, so I'm very, if you haven't gathered by now, I'm very ambitious. and so I want to do this. And the reason I named it I Am the Business, if the children never start, if they never start a business, I want them to show up as the business. I want them to make themselves marketable. They know the skills that they need to develop to be the best person that they can be. When they show up as the business, right? And so they're very intentional about how they go to school, how they dress, how they act, how they behave. They're very intentional on how they build their skill set, so they'll be more marketable when whatever role they take on, right? And learning how to maximize where they are. So if they're going into a trade, I want them to go into that trade thinking differently. Like I need to find out what this trade, where is the need in this trade, because that's where the money is. Where the need is, that's where the money is. And so that's what we'll be teaching in the incubator, right? We're going to be developing their mindset to do business. I have 4 parameters. One, they have to give back to the community. You have to have a cause to give back to the community. Okay, some way. I don't know. Brother Talley, Dr. Talley said that he was a foster child. And so growing up in the foster system, that may be something that he's passionate about giving back to. So I want to meet the people where they are and say, hey, let's go. And that's what you give to. If that's where you found that there was a need and you needed that as a child growing up, right? Well, donate back into that place, right? If my dad was a police officer, if he was in the military or what have you, and I want to give to the vets that come out of active duty, whatever that is, does that make sense? Give back to the community. We're asking that if they take the scholarship, that they give back to Adrulix. And one of the things that Adrulix does is things like this. Every quarter we want to have events like this. And it's going to start at the end of the quarters where we're doing the celebration of the graduates from the I Am the Business thing. And so I was thinking about a date on when to sponsor, well, to do this program to. So this is a launch pad. This is a kickoff to the I Am the Business. And I was like, why are we celebrating Juneteenth? The slaves learned that they were free 2 years later. Is that something to celebrate? I said, what I would celebrate, and this is before I planned this, what I would celebrate if we do something to the people that were affected by not receiving that information. And so I said, that's what's really important. And so a Drulix, 20% of all proceeds that comes through a Drulix will go to education and building facilities. Next door, there's a facility that caters to kids and helping them code and things like that. And so we'll be working with that group and pouring finances and resources into that business. But we want to do that all across the country. And so my end goal is to have each cohort is looking for 60 kids or people, right? If all 60 stay in, it'll be a miracle. But my goal is to have at least 10 businesses that are made and stay with the community, right? And so the second thing, they have to use technology innovatively. So we're going to be using blockchain technology and AI and leveraging those, right? And I'm going to show them, and I'm going to bring experts coming in. They're going to come in and they're going to speak on their section of expertise during the incubator. So I have one or two guests coming in for every incubator.
To who?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so we want to make sure that they use technology innovatively, because that's the game changer, right? And then do what you say. Whatever your business model is, do that. Be about that, right? And then the last thing is have excellent customer service. So we want to service our community. And so instead of taking a Drulix to different companies that's already formed, which we will do, God put it on my heart to influence businesses and start the businesses to have the culture already that we need to be in a Drulix. And so after this cohort, I'm hoping to get at least 10 businesses that will start working together, galvanizing our resources together, right? Doing business with each other, right? Using group economics and bringing others into the community as we go. And then the next quarter, we'll have, after the end of the next quarter, which is the end of the year, our goal is to have 110 businesses at least. That's a part of the Drulix and meeting the community and bringing people in. The following quarter, we want to do 25. And so we want to constantly grow. And guess what we're doing? We are empowering young people and those that are ready to start their own business by shifting their mindset. One of the things that we're asking all business owners to do, and the aspiring business owners, is to think about creating a business that they can walk away for 3 months at a time. At least, right? 3 months at a time. Because we don't want you to be a slave to your business. That means you have to put systems in place that will operate. If we go into Burlington's, I don't know why I said Burlington, Macy's. If we go into a store, a major store, we won't see the owner there. They probably never step foot in the facility, right? But why do we think that because we are entrepreneur, we need to be in there? You can't work on your business and in your business at the same time. So just shifting the mindset about how we do entrepreneurship, how we do life, how we do business. That's the goal of I Am the Business. And so if you have any questions, we'll take questions real quick. And if not, we're going to go on to our panel discussion. It's Yes, it's $2,497 per business. Yes. 21 is too old? No, no. You can be 71 and get in. But our target market is we're just going out the 11th and 12th graders, right? So all our marketing is going to be geared towards them. But if you come up and you're ready and you're 71 and saying, "Hey, I'm tired of doing what I'm doing and I need to do something different," we like, come on. If you lock in with us, we're gonna lock in with you. So that's the I Am Business.
Good. Yeah. If you have anybody who's young and needs some guidance, or at least wants to start a business in an efficient way, take them to a Drulix. Take them to a Drulix. All right. Now we're gonna get into the other panel discussion. This one is gonna be on tech, AI, innovation, Web3, and all these different things and how it affects your life and my life. All right. Okay. First question.
We got
I'm
to
so sorry.
introduce.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please, Isa, please come up. My apologies. Um, yeah. So starting from Michelle, we're gonna work our way down, and then we're gonna get Adrian um, on the call as well. Please introduce yourself and give us a little bit about you.
Okay, definitely. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Michelle Austin. I am a cybersecurity leader. I do military hacking as well as civilian hacking. That's what I specialize in. I also teach ages 4 through 89, all Ivy League top tier students, children with manners, right? Manners maketh man. We don't like angry people, so I do not teach children without manners. I teach them how to code Python, Scratch, anything with like MIT. And I'm a professor. So, what I teach is how to build GPTs, right? I'm friends with a lot of people in Anthropic. So I actually speak with the Gemini guys. I test Gemini before you guys. So if you guys see that it's more personalized, different things like that, pretty big, worked for Meta, worked for, I've been everywhere, like Silicon Valley, military, all of that. Now I'm more into post-quantum cryptography and post-quantum encryption. I know that sounds like a lot, but the military needs me right now. So I can literally find anybody, anytime, anywhere. But I try not to do that, right? I'm a reformed hacker, by the way, guys. As of February 24, 2025, I walked into the light. So for my gamers, guess what you do? You just respawn, right? Gaming, yeah, you just respawn. So, the government can't find you. Change your name. So as I said, I still itch a little bit, so don't tempt me. February 24, 2025. That was my reform date, okay? So but I am now in the light. I now teach others. Ooh, and my hacker name now is Midnight Indigo. Um you don't need to know the last one because I don't know who's who, and I usually go around with my glasses. You guys have the privilege of seeing my eyes and my face. But I've got some really cool friends. I'm in deep Black Hack Society. Ugo and I, we hack together. You know what's up. So I'm on many advisory boards, nephrologics boards as well. I do AIs for medical devices. So currently that is my other focus. So right now I'm working with a team of nephrologists. So the medical field needs me right now. That's where I am. But I am a child prodigy too. And I mean by like, I went to college at 16, like full time. Not this dual enrollment stuff that they're doing, but like the USG, I had to interview for 4 hours, literally. And they all pitched to me. Georgia Tech wanted me, UWG wanted me. So guess what? I did half at UWG because it was yay, woman empowerment, half at UGA. It was time to graduate. They were like, so where do we give her degree? I said, I don't know. So we went with women empowerment, and my bachelor's goes with what is it called? University of West Georgia. Then I have two master's degrees, Masters of Science in Information Technology Management and an MBA. I have 18 industry certifications. I'm also on industry boards. So if you ever took CCSK, ZTA, anything Zero Trust, I started that, helped pioneer Zero Trust, and actually that terminology ZTT. So, and zero day attacks as well. So if you have anything you want to know about, if you want to know any lectures, honestly, I attend and I'm invited to so many lectures. Just let me know. I am well connected. There's no one who can shut me down. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. We love it. We love it. We love it.
And a lot of flavor.
Yeah, so to introduce myself, I'm a senior software engineer at VMware. So I'm just big into tech, write a lot of code, and I graduated with a degree in computer science. I'm working my master's degree right now in computer science again, focusing on machine learning and mathematics a lot. And right now, my role is really focused on vulnerability management. So we respond to threat actors in our software, and since what VMware does is build corporate software in virtualization and containers and creating secure environments that other businesses can run their programs on, we have to constantly respond to all kinds of threats because that software goes on to be used in banks, hospitals, schools. So, like children's hospitals, if they don't want their devices to get hacked and go offline, there's tons of computer equipment. They run that on top of our environments. So I'm just really focused on making sure that we develop responses to those threats. So once we get and find a vulnerability in our software, me and my team come up with ideas to patch it out and get it pushed into our production code so it's no longer an issue. So it's a lot of brainstorming, whiteboarding, and then just a lot of coding, and it's constantly an evolving space. And yeah, today I just want to talk about the work we do, getting into tech if anyone wants to become a software engineer, and then how we use AI and how it's changing our space right now and how it's speeding up our development. And just any questions about getting into university and getting through like really tough classes and how to excel at that. So I'm 22, so I'm like pretty young in tech. Been in tech since I was like 16. I started working at my uncle's software company and worked my way up from there. Before I was at my current one, I used to work in fintech at a place called FIS. They run a lot of the payment systems in the US, so Zelle and like tap to pay at credit card vendors whenever you're at a store, and then bank transactions, and then a lot of major banks like Capital One build their software on top of our backend code that runs a lot of the payment transactions. So I used to work on infrastructure there, keeping that all online before I was here, and that's mainly been everything up to this point. So yeah, glad to talk about it today and answer any questions.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything tech, you go to this guy. Trust me. All right.
Adrian.
Time for Adrian.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm Adrian Allen. I have a career in actually recruiting. That's been my primary base in tech. Anything from, honestly, the primary base has always been in technology since college. Recently, I ventured off into the finance space. Would prefer not to ever go back there, but I did have fun recruiting financial advisors. But that is my background. I'm a recruiter. I've enjoyed placing people in positions, anything from a database administrator all the way up to a CIO, CTO. I've loved it. It's great. I enjoy helping people, and that's really my background. Married, 3 kids, was a former competitive triathlete, competing in Ironman distance triathlons, including going to the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. So I'm very disciplined, organized, and kind of a high person, kind of a high achiever type of person. And I met Michelle, who recruited me to come and be a part of the panel. So give it to Michelle for asking me to come and be a part of this. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I love that you joined. Also, she's so humble. So, if you know a little bit about myself, I'm very competitive. So, I was on the varsity tennis team. Adrian is so competitive as well. I am actually a professional ballroom dancer. I qualified for the highest ballroom dancing competition at Atlanta in October this year. So, I'm training like rigorously, and so is she. Adrian, can you please tell them who you really are? She is a world champion. Come on. 6 time, like Iron Age. Come on.
Okay, I'll just talk
Be
about it. I'll be
humble.
very brief. I just loved triathlon. It was something I just loved doing, and I always wanted to do an Ironman. And I almost qualified for the World Championships on my first Ironman. After giving birth to my twins, I did one because I was like, I got to lose the baby weight. You know, it's one of these just want to get my body back kind of thing. And I didn't realize like I was going to do that well. So I went back the next year, dropped an hour, qualified for the World Championships in Hawaii and Kona. Went to Hawaii, and then I was like, I need a break, and then ended up starting a kids triathlon training program out of my neighborhood with about 160 kids rolling in on bikes every Sunday. I thought I was going to die, but it was rewarding. It was a rewarding time. I competed in 5 Ironmans. Loved it. I'm still very competitive. My daughter's doing a half marathon this weekend. I'm like, can I come? She's like, no. You know, she's 18. She's like, you can't come. It just kind of was a part of something I fell into as an adult, not something I grew up with. I was a ballerina, but honestly, it really did set the stage for me coming back into industry when I was 42 to kind of come back in tech as an older female and really have that a little bit more grit and backbone to, really push myself and do just smarter things at that age because everyone was so much younger than me. And it was just one of those, I'm very grateful I got to compete as an adult as opposed to a child,
Right.
because I just had more appreciation about sports and coaching and coaches. And it really helped me raise my kids in a way that was very different because I had a lot more understanding of what it was like as an adult. And anyway, it was a really great move, and I still compete. I
Yes.
still go out and do 5Ks, 10Ks. I'm like, oh yeah, but that's just part of me.
No, but definitely. And so why I wanted to bring that up is because it's a mentality, right? Anywhere, anytime, anything you want to do, you need to have a winner's mentality.
Yes.
So why I brought up that she's an athlete, I surround myself by a lot of competitive people. Weekly, she knows. And also, like, if you guys look at your invite, those who got a punch bowl social invite, at the very bottom, I am trained by a Soviet elite, he trains Olympians. His name is Vladimir. Every week, I train with NHL players, NBA players, MLB players. As you see on there, where I've spotlighted like James Munlin the fourth, James Munlin the third. Some of those individuals they wished to be here, and but I train weekly with. Oh, Formula One drivers. Actually, I was just training with them last week. So every week, that's why it says only by verbal confirmation from Michelle Austin, because the clientele is very high. So weekly, I train with like the real deal. Literally, people you see. Drew, I've like trained with Drew Brees before. Adrian, are you typing? Someone's shifting.
Uh, just mute yourself, Miss
Yeah.
Adrian, until you to speak.
There we go. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sorry, it was just like crackling. So basically, every week I train with like athletes. Now, and why I was saying that was it's a way to clear your mind. And as she said, she was only able to come back after giving birth to her twins and like her children. Right? She has 3 children. She was able to come back into tech. That is not easy for a woman to hop out, come back 10 years later. It's a marathon. Things have changed. Technology has changed. Coding languages have changed. How you interview has changed. Now you need to ramp up on a lot of things. How is she able to do that? She's an athlete, world champion athlete. When we keep our mind fresh, we keep going. I'm a professional ballroom dancer. I'm always on the go. I always have the energy. So I surround myself by winners as well. Like Ugo, he's a Marine. Everyone you'll see around me, they have some form of like, are you a winner? If you're not, please don't speak with me. That because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if someone is lazy at work, they're going to be a lazy husband. She's going to be a lazy wife. Come on. It's not different. There's no difference. A relationship is just a relationship. So that's just the importance and why I wanted to bring fitness into IT. It's important to keep your mind up. the most healthiest people bring the best ideas.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, yes.
And
Um, it it is very important that we keep our mental health intact, right, and our emotional health intact, and constantly grow. One of my mottos is I want to be more valuable today than I was yesterday, and so I got to be intentional about adding value to my life. And so when I show up, I want to show up valuable. When I talk, I want to speak value, but you got to be intentional. And so that's what we're doing at Adrulix. We are helping you become more intentional as an individual, and putting your best foot forward every day, every day, every day. So we are excited about it. So let's get into to the tech questions.
absolutely. I did want to do a little segue because we were just talking about fitness, and I love fitness. But so I have actually like individual questions for each of you based off of everything that I've heard from y'all today. So for Adrian, since you're a multi decathlon, triathlon, all of them, I'm actually training for a marathon, so this is poignant. So as somebody in tech and also just um, incredibly achieved in fitness, how has it shaped your mind? How has it given you the grit and the willpower to get through different things in terms of your career and tech? And how can other people also use fitness to further their lives?
Okay, I don't know if it's a little crackly on my phone, but honestly, if I had not competed, first of all, I would have not. I would have gotten my job back because they were recruiting me to come back as a recruiter. The same company I left 12 years prior to be a personal trainer and a coach. They kept calling me to come back. They weren't making good hires, they weren't choosing good people. So they brought me back in to help honestly create a culture and hire for culture. But when I got there and did that for 6 months, I honestly was like, I need something harder. I want to go into sales. And if I had not competed, I would not have gotten that job because they were like, what do you have? No sales experience? I'm like, no, but I have competed in 5 full Ironmans and went to Kona, and I'm grittier and tougher than I've ever been. And I'm a mom. Like, it was a little bit of a doing competition, put a better backbone on me to give me the confidence to go higher than anything I've ever done. I don't know if that makes sense. It's sort of like, you know what? I'm a little bit of a, excuse my language, badass right now. Not only have I done 5 full Ironmans, but I got 3 kids. It was just like this. You compete, not you compete for yourself, because competition is not you against someone else. It's really you against you, which is that self development and that mental development as a competitor. No one can give you that. You have to train that yourself. You got to develop that mental focus. So competition helps with honestly the mental focus of work, and it does help you be more disciplined, and it allows you to kind of see through the riffraff where you're like looking at the finish line. You don't care who's beside you. You're not worried who's behind you. You just go straight forward, and you don't need to know all of that. You just need to get there. So competition is great. I highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be a full Ironman or marathon, and congratulations. You could get wicked fast in a 5K, and that's still great. I mean, anytime you put your feet to a start line of any race, it to me is a very big deal. It's a huge deal. It's scary, you know? So I highly recommend competition for putting yourself out there and building a confidence inside your heart and your mind and your soul. You know, God gave us bodies to move and to actually not just sit still, but move. So hopefully I answered your question.
Absolutely, that was perfect. That was perfect. And I'll definitely co-sign because when I went to the military, at the age of 18, literally like me before and after, completely different. The Marine Corps boot camp will change your life. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. All right, for my man over here. So you're really into software engineering, and also you've gotten into the cybersecurity side. So blending them both. I'll say for anybody, people all ages, how would you describe to them like how they should get into software engineering or the ins and outs of the field itself?
Yeah, it's a good question. Getting into tech is pretty big right now, and uh, if I was to talk about how to go from knowing nothing and then getting into actually working at a company and working on real production software, uh, the whole process, you probably want to start by building a passion for it. Above all, like making sure you actually enjoy doing this, and then maybe start building some basic games, start trying out the logic and like starting to understand what goes into building it. Just following a lot of tutorials or books, and then if you're like out of high school now, then the best place to start is getting your computer science degree. So joining college and then starting to go through the courses, like really focusing on getting good math skills early on. And then once you've got past like your first year, you can really start focusing on understanding algorithms and data structures. So that's a big part of what being a computer scientist is being able to take abstract problems and then solidify them into real solutions that work efficiently. So you really have to train your mind and understand how to build those. And that just takes a lot of repetition, continuous work every day that to build that intuition up. And it's really hard for everyone. So that's a pretty big part of the field. And then once you get past that, looking for internships in your area is the next best step, because once you get to go work at a real company and get that mentorship, it really speeds up your understanding of it and seeing if you actually like this industry. And assuming that internship goes well, you might even get a return offer and your future's set from there. But if you still keep going, it's really about just focusing that those 4 years you're in college on just learning everything you can, absorbing everything and asking a lot of questions, because there's a lot of things to learn from other people and a lot of stuff you don't know. So you really just have to understand how to ask questions and how to bring people what you know and ask them for their input to complete the picture for you. Uh, yeah, once you graduate, it's really just focusing on figuring out where you want to go, what company you want to join, and then passing those interviews. I mean, in software, those interviews really revolve around those algorithms. So, assuming you can get good at that, you should be able to just walk an engineer through your thought process, how you, when they give you that problem, how you break it down and how you decide to solve it and get a working solution. Hopefully, they can see your problem solving skills from that. They can analyze how you learn and how your mind works just based on how you approach that and explain it to them. So, getting like clear speech and understanding how to communicate well with other engineers is really important in passing that. And then once you're in, it's really about continuous learning, continuing to read books, and uh, focus on growing your skill set every day, and uh, just putting in the work to make sure that the your tickets you're working on, like your features, are actually getting into the production code, and the feedback from like the higher level engineers, because any code you write gets reviewed by the seniors, the staff engineers. They're gonna give you really critical feedback. They're gonna be really harsh on you. They don't want any unfiltered code getting into the main code base because it'll bog down the company. So you got to take that feedback and understand it's not personal. They're just trying to keep high standards. And yes, if you can get through that, then you'll keep growing as an engineer. Those guys really want you to try and move up and become more experienced, and your knowledge depth to go way up. And eventually you'll get into the system design side, where you start actually designing the different components that go into the software. You'll be on the design meetings. So you'll take an abstract concept, like they'll say, guys, we need to add in-depth metric logging for this specific application because some of our clients are saying we don't have statistics for all the uh, accesses that come in. I guess we're like getting a little technical, but
yeah, it's a bit technical. Not everyone's technical, sorry. So basically what he's saying as well, you're gonna have to start at the bottom. Okay, with anything with IT, if you don't know anyone, have a connection, you're going to have to pay your dues. Honestly, you're going to have to work in the brain of the computer before you get to the fun stuff like UI, UX, which is what he's talking about, right? Like system development and things like that. So that means you do have to do help desk. A lot of people ask me, duh, you never leave the help desk. Even as a leader, I always help with tickets. So he's saying have to also, you have to love mathematics. Coding is mathematics, it's logic. That's what AI is as well. Everyone asks me, hey, what's in your GPTs? I'm like, ones and zeros. It's binary. So if you don't like mathematics, good luck in anything with computers. It's all I'm doing is solving hacking. It's literally math problems, right? That's what we're doing. It's like solving so many like logical things. And if you're like Issa over there, he does pre-calculus for fun. That's why he's one of the best. And for him, he's just being humble. Tesla knocks at his door. All these different companies knock at his door that we can't even say as well because there's things that are in motion, but like the most brainiac of brainiac people like robotics engineers, basically. So Issa is a person who we would find out about Tesla 3 years later. It was already in the works. He would be in the green fielding rooms, which is why he was getting very technical. He was like, you start with the mathematical equation, then you work up to even seeing it. So he works with the meta, then brings it into physical, so metaphysical. So that's where if you are really like a mathematical, you want to be in the brain, Issa's the right type, like to start from scratch. I come where it's already established, and then I'm like, yay, I'll just make it better with my AIs. But that's the foundation, pre-calculus, honestly. Get to love calculus, statistics, anything with ones and zeros. And then if you get to where I am, know how to make that translate that calculus now into verbiage. Now doing word problems. You want to be a hacker, you have a combination of that, then speak with me, and then we go to quantum. Then I can teach you post quantum computing. And then that goes crazy. But he's the foundation, and then I can fluff it up.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
You know, this brother, he took the question and he systematically he took you from the base where you're starting all the way up to the levels, and it was so impressive. And but you got to be locked in. You got to be locked in, and so you can tell that he's a locked in person. He knows what he's talking about. But when you can follow along a process, right, in building yourself and be locked in growing as a person and go through the steps that is needed to live a healthy life, that's what he was talking about. To be successful, you got to start somewhere, right? And where you start where you are. You don't try to go up 3 levels, start where you are and then gradually put yourself in the right positions to continue to grow.
I liked how he said about continuous learning as well, because that's something Antoine always says. He says every day, try to learn something. He's taught me that. Try to learn something every day. So when he said, and then after you've secured the position, you're not done. That's the other issue with these executives. They get comfortable. Data is changing every second. The sun, like what is it, rises on the east, sets on the west. So we're sleeping, they're awake. They're already making new ideas, new innovation. You're always behind. Just like honestly, you're always behind. But if you understand that, then you'll know like what you focus on. And like Adrian said, competition, I compete with myself. I'm my only competition. People ask me and they're like, and no offense to anybody in a sorority, but people are like, oh, can you join my sorority? I said, me fi me. Me. Yeah, I pledge allegiance to myself because that's all I know is me. So if I'm good and I can serve me, I can then serve others. So that's where Adrian and I'd also like to spotlight Miss Debbie Stewart. She's also on the invite, and she was the IT mentor and community beacon. Then you can have she's solidified her roots. She's a tree. And then now she can spread her branches and she's giving the rest of us life. That's what you do.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit here,
Yeah.
kind of going back, that the tech market today, 2025, it's a hard field to get into right now. It is highly competitive. It is hard to get a job in tech right now. I've met so many people who call me and like, help. It is very difficult right now to get into tech. And maybe the panel here, you guys can maybe talk on your behalf of people that you know that are looking. But I'm telling you, people stop me, call me all the time, help. And I can't do it. I can't help them. It's like, yeah.
Honestly, for myself as well, because Adrian and I, this is another thing that we do. So, whoever I can help, she feeds me. Whoever, she can help, I feed her. So we do our best to help individuals, but you have to understand, it's now grown so far. So when people ask me, yes, you do need to know the 6 foundational coding languages. You're late. Do you want to? We're past Python. We're past that, but you have to know all 6 of them so you can even understand. Okay, now do I want to go into AI? Now do I want to go into data visualization and modeling? Do I want to go into robotics? Do I want to go into GPT? So yes, you have to start with knowing the 6 languages. That's where people break, because there's no boot camp. And that's another thing. Boot camps, I've not met one that's good, because you cannot learn 6 languages, how to combine those 6 languages, the mathematical functions. And I mean, you cannot do that in 8 weeks. I know Georgia Tech says, yeah, no, you cannot. Anyone who's come out of there, I've interviewed, I've crushed. I've never hired a Georgia Tech bootcamp person, because they're just pumping you things. But when I say, okay, so now build me this solution with this, I know the 3 languages you need to combine. You only learn the 3 languages separately. So that's the issue, is that people think that I can learn these languages, but like I said, these are math equations that we're solving, and you need to have combinations. You're gonna have variables with letters and words, exactly. So it's like, what? I mean, letters and numbers. So you can learn the languages all day, but you have to go a step beyond and then find, like, what do I actually want to focus on? Then learn how to combine those. And then, as Issa said, the best way, start creating games. I started coding games in Excel. How many of you knew you could code games in Excel? Right? Many people don't know that. But I was like, what is this? So first of all, I was not impressed with Excel. I said, okay, their formulas are running too slow for me. The macros are too slow. So I went into the brain of Excel. Then I realized, oh, VB script, this is so easy. It's like XML. So I learned how to code. I was coding games in Excel, sending them to my friends, because companies, they block, right? You can't block me. What do you mean I can't play a game? I was accessing the internet from Excel before they did the integration. Like, literally, Microsoft, yeah, I'm bad. They know me. They don't like me. But so what I'm saying is, look at that, right? I'm not just using one language when I build, when I want to get into the brain of Excel to manipulate the Microsoft code to then build my games in Excel. Do you see how many languages that is? So that's why now, if people are struggling to get into IT, it's because you don't know how to combine them. You're not. Yeah, exactly.
I what I, from a non-techie standpoint, I come in the picture where I'm an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and a lot of times the techs don't have real case uses. And so that's why I step in and say, with the incubator, and saying, hey, every business that comes through this incubator, no matter what kind it is, God has given me wisdom to think outside the box and say, let's use tech this way in this business. Let's use tech this way in this business. Yes, use tech this way in this business. And let's combine it so it all works and feeds the ecosystem of Adrulix. And so you don't have it's great to have these people on your team. So when you come up with the idea, now let's make it work. Yeah, you're giving me the juice. Like, I can go now, And so there's a space for all of us here. Okay, there's a space for all of us here. So whether you're on tech side, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're just living life and you need to solve a problem, bring that problem and let's go. because if you have that problem, there's a lot of other people that have that problem, and we need to solve it and make some money off of it, right? And so, yeah, we're it's so we got a little more time left. If there are any questions, or any questions from the audience or anything. Okay, yes. Yes.
So as Adrian said, the market trying to
Because
get
Adrian can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So, as Adrian said, the market just to get into tech, the tech field now is oversaturated, really hard to get into. The bar's high. A couple of years ago, it was low. You could get a quick certification and somebody would hire you for way more than you were worth. We get it. It's everything changes. But what would be your advice to, all right, so two-tier sided question, I guess. What would your advice be to someone who has a business but needs to integrate tech to advance forward, but also to a young adult who has been told, hey, the old school way ain't doing it. You need to get into tech. Now here they are about to graduate from school, rather it be albeit high school or college, and they're like, hold on, now all of a sudden, maybe not. What would be your advice as far as being able to make that pivot in both cases? And feel free to answer whomever, but
Yeah. HR direct executive. So Adrian can take that. Wait, Adrian.
Is that for me?
Oh, do you want to take that? No, because you're the HR.
Yeah. So my recommendation right now, because of the way the market is you need to take some risks. You're going to have to take some risks, and I highly recommend risking it on someone who's young. And I'm sorry to ageism here because I'm 54, so there's no listen. It's more to invest to mentor, to train, and to grow. And that's what I think. And these young cats coming out of college, I was interviewing all last year. They are smart. They're smart. A lot of them own their own businesses, have real estate licenses, have their own. I mean, they are. They went through COVID, and their parents got screwed. So they're like scrambling themselves and have already started their own businesses. So they kind of have the entrepreneur spirit already. And that is because they've had to do it. So I would highly recommend kind of looking at the 2024, just 24 and probably 25, maybe 23, and a lot of like the financial majors had to do data analytics. They had to switch to data analytics. So anyone with a finance degree, business degree that has a data analytics degree, they can communicate and they can do tech. So like bringing someone in that's got the finance background, business background, that also has the tech background, to kind of take what you're doing and kind of update it, like get it updated. It's kind of like getting into a house and kind of updating it. That's what you need. And then, they got friends, a lot of them have a lot of friends that can come in and help. And just taking that risk on someone like that, or even someone that maybe has a couple of years out who maybe got into a role that they're getting overworked and underpaid. That's kind of another. There's a lot of that going on right now where employers are just overworking. They're overworking people. Or you could take someone like around where I'm at, where it's the same situation. So it's just finding that right person that you trust that can come in and kind of look at your whole business, your operations, and kind of give you some good advice and then actually implement it. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it probably would take a couple of people. But yeah.
Yay.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you, Adrian. That was awesome.
AI is coming for people's jobs. I mean, everyone's. What advice do you have to leverage AI so that we don't get left behind?
I recommend everybody learn how to AI prompt and learn the different types of AI. Gemini it studied your Gmail, right? So it's personalized for you. That's your personal virtual assistant. Claude is for systematic work like Microsoft. Chat GPT is for mainly everything else. Um, everything but academic stuff. Do not go to Chat GPT for academic stuff. Exactly. So you have to know what to use these AIs for. Not every AIs are made equal. That's the other thing. It's people are pulling, yeah, like I can tell and I'm like, oh, you got your data from Chat GPT. Yeah. So learn how to AI prompt. You'll learn which GPT gives you what. And you'll learn which one is the good one. Yeah, that's the only way, honestly, because now the AIs are making AIs, by the way.
People in this to recommend
Yeah.
that people in this room build
Yes.
using AI.
Yeah, AI. And actually, I'm just gonna make a free AI prompting course, honestly, and I'll send it to people. Whoever wants to, learn, you'll learn. Okay, bet.
Yes.
Yeah, because people have been
Yes.
asking me. I'm just like, yeah, but you have to know how to use them. There were a few people I did want to spotlight though,
Okay, go ahead.
because with the interest of time. So first, Mr. Brown, can you please come forward? Yes, I would like to spotlight you. Yes. So Mr. JT Brown is well, I just said you introduce yourself, but he's a private client security expert.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, sir, for having this event because we do need this in the community. Thank you. Um, Miss Austin, I protect her. My name is James J.T. Brown. I'm a retired Fulton County deputy sheriff. I served there for 39 years. While I was there, I started a security company protecting people. We do executive protection, we do construction sites, film industry, anything in security. I've done it. Worked the Olympics, Democratic Convention, guarded every president has ever come to Atlanta when I was not retired. Hostage negotiator, crisis intervention officer, sergeant, warrant division, and all that. But um, like I said, I protect Miss Michelle. I met her at a cyber conference because I went there to solicit my cards since I'm in the security business. And I met her. And then she called me probably about 2 weeks after that. She had a situation that needed some protection. So I was there for her. And ever since then, I've been protecting her events, taking her different various venues. And I met this young lady at one, and but that's me. That's my son London, who was on the first panel. I'm a Morehouse graduate also, so I'm glad London was able to come on the panel. So yeah, and that's why he needs more than pats on the back and this gentleman for doing what they do, because some people, some don't have a father to guide them, to be that mentor, to have a son to bring them up. So you're filling in the gap. You guys are filling in the gap, and that's what we need in the community, because I've seen it being with the sheriff's office. I was 22 there, and I was telling this gentleman, when I started there and I got to the jail and I saw a young man my age, my heart just dropped. And I said, man, we need to do something about this incarceration of black man, just anybody going to a jail, because nobody needs to be incarcerated in a jail like that because of their situation. So, sir, thank you for giving an opportunity for people in the community to have a way to come and do something, to be prosperous and successful. Thank you. But that's just me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's definitely a pleasure to be in this space, y'all. I have an app that I'm putting out, and it's going to be on Google Play probably in the next week or so, and Apple Store. And so I want to share that information with you. But if you didn't have one of these cards, you want to get one of these cards. Discord is what I'm using to build the community on. I want you guys to lock in with me. You see what's going on with the Drulix. I'll be posting things that we're doing. Also, the front link I revamped my website using AI, and so the front link don't work. But if you click home, it'll take you to the website, and we're gonna work on that. I'm still working with my agent to make sure that gets solved. So, but I have a 365-day motivation app. I call it the 10th percentile because only 10% of the human population personal develops on a consistent basis. And so on this app, what you have is daily motivation. You have quotes, declarations that you can say every day. You have it's goal setting. You can goal set. I'm going to bring on where you can. It'll help you set boundaries. Okay, so that's my next feature that I'm going to add on. You also have it just has a lot that you can do. Accountability, our book club is on there. Just if you want to grow consistently, you need to get on this app. And I'm gonna have it out. So it'll be on my website in the next couple of days. I have the link to it today. So if you need the link, I can give it to you today. You can check it out. You can join it if you want. There's a free section and there's a premium section that you can get the whole gamut. It's only $9.97 a month. So it's really affordable because I want to get the information out. I want people to grow and learn and just get better, right? From existing to thriving. That's our goal.
Awesome. And then I'd also like to spotlight. Well, first I will spotlight Adama Sar. So she's in the back. If you guys can see her waving her hand, yes, she is an A-list celebrity hairstylist. She actually flies in from Hollywood, like to do my hair. And like I said, not right now, so don't judge my hair right now. Okay, no. But so like I'm a professional ballroom dancer, as I told you guys. So we constantly do like outfit changes, hair changes, and things like that. So she's amazing. She literally like she flies in. She'll catch a flight for me. Like I need you. She's like I'm on set. I'm like I don't care. And she'll be like so she's amazing. I'm actually going to give out her beauty cards because she's an if you know you know. So and definitely like utilize her business card number and website because she is on set a lot. She's not ignoring you, but I did want to spotlight her. And then next, I'm going to spotlight. That's all right. No, let's clap for Adama. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for coming. Next, I'm going to spotlight Miss Debbie.
Um, Good afternoon. Sorry I was late. I had another appointment this morning. I am Debbie Stewart. This is my pseudo daughter, Miss Michelle. We met at a former employment. We used to work together, and we just bonded. So she became my daughter, and I became her mother. And we have just been locked ever since. And I hate I missed the activity part because I started playing tennis in I won't tell my age, my 40s. And after my kids started driving and could take care of themselves, and I got hooked. So I've been playing for a minute, and I play Alta, I play USTA, I play League, I play Flex. I play in about 3 or 4 leagues. So I have to agree with everything that was said, the competition part of it. So yeah, I hate when I lose, but somebody has to lose, right? So I think of it that way. But I love it. I'm pretty good. They call me the little Serena. So I'm gonna roll with that. So, I'm pretty good to be short. So I have an advantage when I walk out on the court. 5 feet, they 5 feet nothing. So they think that they'll automatically beat me. So when I win, I feel good about it. So, but Michelle and I have gotten really close. I do work at the city of Atlanta as a project manager. I am retirement age, believe it or not, but I don't know if I'm going to ever retire. My dad is 85, still works. My grandmother was 103 when she died. She still worked up to 100. So I don't know.
Right. Good genes.
I don't know when I'm gonna retire. I'm just I can't retire today if I really want to, but I don't have. I'm not ready. So, but I just want to say, I love this young lady. She keeps me uplifted. She's over to my house all the time. I just love her drive. I have two daughters already, so she's and my daughters have friends, so she's like my fifth or sixth daughter. All their friends are my daughters, so I have like five or six daughters. I've lost count, but she's like my other daughter. So I just wanted to say I love you, Michelle. She's my other daughter.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you. And then last but not least, Luke. So everybody, some of you guys don't know, but since I was 16, 15, I ghostwrite for like Maybach Music Group, all these different things, right? Producing destructive low vibrational music. You know what I mean? I've already sent like some samples for like certain people like Glorilla and things like that. So music producer extraordinaire. This is the other side of me. We actually like produce, like I said, but ghost producing and stuff like that, right? So you guys will know the artist, you'll know the rapper, but it's like our brains. So I'll let him.
Thank you, Michelle. How's everyone doing? I'll move around a little bit. But yes, my name is Lukeman, and I've been doing music for a while, and I've been doing different type of tech things, not officially, but just learning, how things go. One thing I have figured out is that, connecting with the right people, that's our own network, that's our own AI, of course. So when me and Michelle connected, we just started working on music, find out common things. Okay, what do we like? Okay, let's put that in a music format, and then let's figure out how to, take that to the next level. And of course, I'm working on a lot of different things with AI, just up here now implementing it, of course, with the binary and things of that nature. And of course, I'm trying to connect with everybody in order to, make some of these things come into fruition. And I'm thinking that like our children needs to learn AI now and figure out how to have a personal AI so they can learn how that actual works so it won't be used, in certain ways. So that's one thing. And then I like to thank Michelle as well for the invite. You know, I'm like an hour away, but I said I'm coming. No problem at all. Also, I feel like with the app you was talking about, I think I want to work with you on that as well, just with some ideas, because it's some things like we can have to use kind of on that same line like personal AI, but use it through the app, customized, boom, per person based on biometrics, things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So I've thought about it. You were talked about it now. I wanna implement some thoughts into that as well. Yes, sir.
No, it's okay.
Go
And
ahead.
Luke and I also. So I'll just say something. If you guys hear of like, oh, there's now singers who are also AI, or record labels are looking for AI, whatever. He was a coder as well. Like so we're like mathematicians and music. So if you hear think, oh, Dr. Dre's, oh, okay, you guys are seeing Dr. Dre. He doesn't have the brain. He has to have the brains. So if you see where we're going with this, so yeah. So speak to Luke if But I just wanted you to know this is not a business producer. Oh, I'm a rapper. I'm no computational and yeah.
Absolutely. It's always ways to elevate what we're already doing. And once I met her, I was like, wow, I'm on the right path. And it makes sense. So it's great talking with you all and have a great one.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, we wanna once again, our time is about to wrap up. We wanted to leave a few minutes for networking at the end. We thank each and every one of you for coming and being a part of our audience and really sharing that. If you have any questions, we'll be around. Please exchange information. If you didn't get one of these flyers, make sure you get one of these as well. Pass it along. I have plenty, so you can pass it on. July 5th is the start. Remember, I'm running this play every quarter. I'm running this play every quarter. You know how many people I plan on touching? Lives, changing lives, moving the needle. I turned 55 in February, and I asked the Lord to give me 55 more years, and I will move the needle of how many African Americans are below the poverty line. And so that's my personal mission, is to change the narrative, make a shift. So let's go. Let's get it. All right, Michelle has one more that she Rio he Rio can't
Rio.
we can't hear Rio, so that's
Oh,
why.
okay. No, it's okay. Rio, thank you so much for joining. You are a real one. Rio is a great one as well. For guys, if you want to know how to keep with your beard or moisturize your, I wish it was on camera, moisturize your beard or anything like that. I mean, he has a world renowned, like worldwide beard. It is fantastic. That's why I invited Rio because I knew there were going to be some gentlemen here. And I mean, but anyway, thank you, Rio, for showing up. I know we took too long, but you have been on here since the very beginning. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So let's just hang out. We have more refreshments. And thanks for coming once again. Thank you,
Thank you.
Adrian. Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.